Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't think anyone's at good night yet, but I could be wrong. Today, we are talking about how the earth has moved under our feet when it comes to marketing. Not sure while you were optimizing what you were doing, everything in marketing was changing. But we'll get into that in a minute. Phelan, you want to take it away?
Yeah, hi. My name is Phelan. I'm with Sumart Digital Media.
I'm Rena Little from Full Serve Web Marketing.
And
Almost forgot.
I'm Greg McKinnon with the Original 72 Creative.
And monthly we get together and we talk about all the things happening in the marketing space, from search to social to everything that's coming up. And we know that AI is a huge deal right now. But who wants to take it away first? Rena, you want to dive in?
Sure. I just had a few things I wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting for this month, and one is that is that where's my Meta is partnering with Midjourney on AI image and video models. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They're using a license to start up AI's image and video generation technology. Meta Chief AI Officer Alexander Wang announced it this month in a post on Threads, and he said that Meta's research team will collaborate with Midjourney to bring technology into future AI models and products. So I feel like that's pretty relevant because I don't think that I think that the AI investment that Meta had been doing was not going in a very good place. So this is actually a really interesting collaboration in terms of I'm not sure how much they're going to pull in or what they're going to do or what that means for all of the data on Facebook. I expect that all of that data will be scraped and put into Midjourney's data pool. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I suspect that it's going to be, yeah, it's everyone's right now doing a data play. So the more
Yeah.
information you can feed into the machine, that like is really try to be the big determiner of who wins.
Yeah.
But the only thing is with like Meta or Facebook partnering with anyone for an image generation is that they have a
Hmm.
serious problem with image generation being already done on the platform. So if it's
Yes.
garbage in, garbage out, like I don't really see how they're going to make it better because they have that whole shrimp Jesus issue that's going on with the
Yes.
platform and stuff like that.
Well, wait. Did you all
Let's
try the
go.
new Gemini image creation? It's pretty crazy.
The Nano Banana.
The nano banana. Yeah. So I saw somebody, this guy Nico I follow, he's super duper cool. Um, but you could, I heard it's really hard to put it like to change a shirt color in Photoshop, but you can go to Nano Banana and you can just be like,
Yeah.
change my shirt color to green, and it's like, bang. It was so
And
good.
what are the privacy settings for, or privacy terms for that particular one? Because I do know that in AI, when you're putting your image into AI for that purpose,
The Disney lawsuit, like the exact thing you just
right?
said, is the exact terms that they're suing
Oh,
over.
right. Okay. So
Yeah,
when is that? So how far in the court case have they gotten, or when will we know an outcome, do you think?
probably a year or two, if that.
Yeah. And then I bet there will be some appeals.
Appealing, yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah.
This is gonna drag on for quite a bit.
Ongoing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my suspicion is that it's gonna be a while for that for them to really like figure out
Hmm.
legality because the law takes a while for them to actually like sort out these things, and so I don't
Yeah.
expect it to be overnight.
Well, it's a really big thing, right? Because we don't have laws that are, I mean, laws are made after, all this, because this is moving so fast. Like,
So do you know what the terms of services are on that particular AI that you looked up or that you
that was
mentioned, Pip?
Gemini. So,
Okay.
So the most recent lawsuit that had to do with anything with rights is that there are no rights that are determined, which is, if anything that is produced
Yeah.
by an AI. So it can be replicated, and so that's why
Right.
Disney
So,
intervened with Midjourney.
but it's not what I'm looking at is not the rights of the AI that's produced, but what about the source, the rights of the source material? So when you put your photo into something, and you know how they're doing that, where you can put your photo up and get a good LinkedIn profile, for example. Um, what are the rights? Like I've been resisting putting my image into AI because of this, because I understand that the terms and services are that if I put my image, my likeness into the space, then Greg, you could take my likeness and advertise your business with my likeness,
Hmm.
That's
right?
interesting.
That's what I'm looking
What was
for.
it?
That's
Denmark. I think it was Denmark that actually made every human a, uh, I don't know, like their own.
that's
Uh,
right. Denmark. What did, okay, let me see.
they
That's
did,
right. I
yeah, they
think
did something
I
weird.
did
They
too.
made
And I
everybody so that you couldn't take their authentic selves, which I thought was really interesting. So this is one of the big topics with marketing right now is user rights. I work with this wonderful woman who's a ghostwriter, and I know other people who are trying to write books using AI because it can be faster. I mean, even Claude has a prompt, but the reality is the same thing as the images. You don't own that.
but yeah, but and that's fine. I'm again, I want to go back to the source material because I think that's more important to control. As a business owner, I want to own my brand and myself. So just to clarify, that law in Denmark is just proposed. It's not actually
Oh, I thought it went through.
passed. So no, I don't think so. Let me see what the date is.
Uh,
I just did a cursory look, so I could be on an old date here.
Greg,
Um,
uh,
as Rena looks into that, are there any website updates, and is there any AI with website stuff we should know about?
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention today that was announced recently after a study, um, that Cadence is the
oh
number
yeah.
one second year in a row best WordPress theme for accessibility.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Yes.
Basically scoring 100% on all of the tests. I think there were like 300 different tests that they performed to determine, um, and they aced everything. One of the shocking things about looking at that was, I noticed that there was uh, the Astra and Spectra. Astra is a theme, and Spectra blocks are a block package. They were like middle of the road, and I know it's a really popular theme that people use. I was a little bit shocked at where they sat in those standings.
Right.
so can I ask a question? Which is, so when you use Cadence, though, I mean, out of the box, it might tick all those boxes, but when people change things, say colors, say things, that will affect
Yeah.
the
Yeah, so
ability for it
I
to be.
do you think they just mean technical accessibility, Greg? Because I actually feel
Yeah,
like we need to,
they
yeah.
can't test
Yeah.
the theme for how people
So,
create their own
yeah.
website. This is
So I'm
just like
interested
out
in
of the box, the way that the
mhm.
semantics of all of the code that gets produced when
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
create a theme with Cadence and Cadence blocks.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I'm
if a
interested
user
to
goes
hear.
in there and starts using like a background and a text over it that don't comply, then obviously you're going to use some type of accessibility checker to make sure you're within the range that should be allowed, a double A rating, I believe. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's up to the user. But just starting off with the theme and block plugin, it's 100% compatible with the 300 tests that they did for accessibility. But us, myself and Rena and her team, and anyone else building with it need to also be aware of how they're actually putting in their content or designing to also keep up with whatever they're doing in their design to be compliant.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to know what the index is for their tests. Like, what are they testing for? I understand it's code, that's obvious, but like, to rank 100%, what is the metrics that they're using for to compare the drag and drop style? And I know that Cadence isn't technically a drag and drop, but for user experience, it sort of plays. I still put it in the same category.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting. Do you have a link for that? Can we
Yeah,
add that to
I can
the
share a
oh,
link that
terrific.
goes through like every item that was tested within this to get their results and the scores, not the score, but the whether it gets a check mark or an X or a
Yeah.
kind of type of a thing. And there's yeah, like I said, there's like 300 different itemized tests
Wow.
that they went through from page
Huh.
builder navigation accessibility to like search accessibility and accordion using accordions like and on sliders carousels
Nice.
they
Right.
test all of these types of different elements yeah
Yeah, that's awesome. There's been are there any other website updates that you heard about? 'Cause that's a good
um
one.
the other one we already brought it up. I was going to mention Nano Banana because that's graphic design related. That it was quite good. I'm curious to know also about Rena's question what the terms and conditions are for uploading images. But I see this less so as you're uploading your own image than maybe having multiple images that you're like, I want something like this, and can you put this in it with a girl,
Yeah.
holding something, holding up like product placement. I
Yeah,
see
I
more
did
of
see.
that people. I mean, the enthusiast might upload their own image and be like, do this weird thing to
Yeah,
me
yeah,
to
yeah. I
see what
saw
it looks
my enthusiast group turned around and put Leonardo DiCaprio having a drink with Buddy in a bar. And that was pretty interesting because they looked like friends in a bar. And so, I mean, lots of things to play with, lots of things to watch out for, right? You don't want to, give Keanu Reeves $1 million like that lady somewhere. Um,
Oh goodness, you're kidding me.
Oh,
If
I don't think
only
it
it
was a
would be,
million dollars, but it was,
yeah,
yeah,
a large amount.
yeah. Yeah.
another Sorry, I was just going to say another thing that I was going to mention. I don't remember if we had talked about this and on a previous web related, but also AI SEO related. That Cloudflare was had introduced controls for AI crawlers to
Yeah.
be set to allow or not to allow AI crawlers or yeah AI training bots to be able
Well,
to crawl your site or not. So
Yeah.
and
I thought they
also that
turned it
it's
on.
set by default that it's
Oh,
turned on. You have to enable it to have the AI crawlers go through. So Cloudflare,
Oh, I
uh,
see. Oh,
and
that's
so they
good.
got in a huge spat with Anthropic, who masked their crawler and pretended that it encoded itself as a Google bot to get around this
wow.
ban. And so Anthropic's in a lot of hot water with Cloudflare at the minute, and I don't know if legal action's been taken against them because there was something about that where they
Well, so I think the outcome of that is reach out to your hosting company and see what they're doing. If you want to show up for AI stuff, but the reality is, wasn't it also true that ChatGPT was found scraping Google?
oh yeah, they
Yes.
so in a study of answers that came out of Google, it was just straight up just whatever Google said. They just scraped those answers and were giving that as the responses based on a study that was done. I Who was it that did the study? I feel like it was what's that nonprofit people that we like? Um,
Sounds
the
like
people that run the
SparkZero. They're
other
not a nonprofit.
the Mozilla. I
Ah,
think it was a
yes.
All
Mozilla
right.
study that found that when they scraped the ChatGPT answers versus Google answers, they were pretty much identical, and so it was like taken
Yeah.
as like there wasn't anything revolutionary that ChatGPT was doing. It's just
Yeah.
building off which is also ironic because ChatGPT by itself is just a fork off of Google's
Yes.
AI model, which is Google Translate.
Yeah.
which
So
is super interesting that Google Translate is the backbone of
yeah,
search.
it's the reason why it
Oh,
does
that it.
language
Yeah.
well and it doesn't do math is because the math
Mm.
it's this weird technical thing where they have to like individuate numbers associated with a block. That's why it doesn't know. ChatGPT can't tell you how many R's are in strawberry because they attribute tokens to certain vowels that go in there.
ChatGPT does really well for Google Ads when you're writing ad copy and you need it to be the 30 characters and the 90
Mhm.
characters and not going over where Manus.
So it can
That was a
count.
disaster. That was a Manus is a disaster. It's giving you
Oh no.
120, and I'm just and when you're trying to do things on scale, it's pretty hard. So the other
Yeah.
thing is ChatGPT referral traffic plummeted the last month by 52%.
Yeah, I
So
saw
referral
that.
traffic to websites. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, one other thing before we move on and get to more interesting stuff by you guys. LLMs.txt isn't a standard yet, but a lot of the plugins, SEO plugins now for WordPress are have it implemented. So you could start using LLMs.txt. Rank Math, I think, was the last one to implement it earlier this month, or maybe
and
late
what does
last
that
month.
mean? MLMTX.txt.
It's like a robot.txt file. So what it is a technical file saying like, I want you to scan these pages, not these other pages. So it's like setting up parameters for what you're expecting. So like by default, your robot.txt file will tell it that anything that involves admin, WP admin, don't scan those. Like you shouldn't be knowing
Mm-hmm.
any of those pages exist.
Yeah.
And so
So why
there's
do we need
rules.
the MLM thing?
So people might have specific requests that you want an AI tool to know about that your SEO tool wouldn't, your SEO website would want to know about. So it may be different things that you want to highlight that you think are important, and other things that you may want to discourage them. So maybe there's something proprietary on your page that you want Google to show up for because it has to do with requests that you may have. Um, I don't know a specific use case at the moment. I know authors are a big proponent of the LLM because they want to be found with Google. That maybe they have something that they write about, but they don't want it to be fed into an AI thing to hallucinate and have incorrect information come out about them. So, like journalists, reporters, writers, they may want to have Google just index them, but not have someone feed them and then hallucinate what they say. And so it may mislead the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment, I think LLMs are more about the AI training bots to understand and cite your website content more effectively if they take it if they use it within the large language models, whichever you use.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, Pip, does that mean that that we should still be focusing on traditional SEO practices and that no?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, hold on. I
Interesting.
should clarify. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of traditional things still work really well. There's
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
some
that's what
additions. So if you go and look
additions.
in Google Search Console right now, you'll actually more likely to see your name, like
Yeah.
Rena or Greg, as an author. Um, and also, one really interesting thing is in Google Search Console, if you do your blog post and there you have, like, I call it the itinerary. I know it's not, it's the outline at the top or the table of contents. You will see it snippeted in Google Search Console. So that's super cool. So we're seeing
Yeah.
authorship, and then I think the authorship is really new. So fill out all your author information in WordPress or wherever, because your names are going to come up more. So the
Yeah.
FAQs are a big one on pages now. Um, and I think, Phelan, is there anything else that's really big? Authorship, um, all the things for EEAT, right?
Yeah.
Is still a really
Exactly.
big deal.
So that
And
makes perfect sense.
well,
So I
Google
just
just,
think that
yeah.
people shouldn't really be jumping jumping off of SEO and going into AI because they're so integrated, quite frankly, is what I think. And the search results that are getting back to your website is still fairly small.
Yeah, we
But
know that that zero click attribution
yeah,
is happening more and more, especially with the
yeah,
AI results. And we know that there was a big algorithm update last month, a core update.
hmm,
This month, there's a huge spam update happening right now. It's rolling out right now. And we don't know if that's related to AI. Is that considered spam? What is considered spam? It's more, you know. And
yeah,
there's also a local search update, which I find completely fascinating because Google is usually on the down low with the local search updates. They don't really, they're not like, hey, we got a local
yeah,
update. So they're not saying much, but like there's been a lot of topsy turvy things. So keep an eye on your traffic from Search Console and Google Analytics. That's what I would say for the next few months.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I have one more fun thing that I
Oh,
wanted to bring up.
okay. I have
Um,
other things too. Oh my god.
okay, all
What do you got?
right, go for it.
Oh, I got. Well, we know video is dominating. We know TikTok is trying to become a search engine. I don't know if you've ever searched on TikTok. It works really well, and it's really awesome to see videos. It is another form of a great search engine, and I think we believe it more. And Google Ads. Google Ads is having major updates. So, what is it? AI Max has rolled out. Originally was super bad. Now it's super good. I don't know. They also got rid of language in ads, so you don't get to pick your language or change languages because of
Mm,
the language it can be interpreted. So keep an eye on your search term report. And
sorry.
there's something going
Are
on.
they, sorry,
Oh,
can I just ask you
yeah,
about
yeah,
that? Do you mean, when you say interpret, do you mean it's translated through Google Translate? Is
yeah.
that what it's done? Okay,
You
cool.
used to have the ability to pick
Yeah,
language,
yeah,
and now you don't. So I find that really
right.
interesting. And then there's a couple big impacts happening in there. So people are really trying to just like be like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? And what do I need to do? Right? Because not only are there other options, but they're getting rid of some things. Um, and there's something going on. And Phelan, we're gonna have to read more about this, but there's something for shopping businesses and loyalty program, but it's just started to come out. Oh, we hear the clicking of the keyboard. Aha!
Yeah, I was looking at that just because I've got a client that just got been battling to get them on a merchant center, and so they've really done a big thing of expanding out. So they have a loyalty points for the merchants to
Have a
Google.
loyalty thing, and they also have like something going on for local businesses because they had a lot of. So I don't know if you know, but there were these local service ads, and sometimes and there's Google guaranteed and there's Google screened, and everybody was really confused about which is what. So I think they're integrating that all together, and then you get a badge because I think people were confused about why do I have to pay $2,000 for this and I don't have to pay for this other one, and so it's been a real mashup, but all I can say is pay close attention to your ads, try the new stuff, especially the retargeting, the what's it, dynamic retargeting.
Yeah,
So
that's a really valuable one is to do it where it's like based on where people go, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be product pages. So they also have an underutilized tool which is it's called a feed, and so you can actually give it a XML page and say like if anyone lands on this page, I want to retarget them based on the page that they landed on, and you can
All
have it
right.
dynamically come from that page as well. So there's a lot of really cool automations that you could do based on what pages people land on. Um,
Oh, that's really interesting. I'm definitely going to be looking into that. That's
oh
going to be
yeah,
super
yeah,
there's
helpful.
also something else, the search partners. So in Google Ads, when you create a search campaign, you have these two buttons that it has always been the case to turn them off. And you turn them off
mhm.
because you don't get any feedback about the data. And so we're like, well, why would I go to Google Search Partners and spend a whole bunch of extra money and not be able to do anything? And so they've opened that up. So now you
All
get to
right.
see wherever So the search partners and the placements, you get to, so there'll be a new big strategy of negative placements out, right? Which will really help you because you can make sure you don't show up for those app games, things like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so they're becoming more aware that they want, so they're using more AI, but they're also opening up things so that we can see more, like with Performance Max campaigns, you can add negative keyword lists now. That's
Hmm.
super intuitive at the campaign level. So you have to go into the campaign, the keywords, and it'll show you the negative keyword option. So crazy things happening.
Yeah,
Super
that's really
fun.
good for the PMAX campaigns. I always hated the way that
Get
you
into
couldn't
the
target as nicely as you could search yeah, campaigns.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
still want to be like Facebook and not tell you anything, but like, at least, I mean, you can actually add customer match lists, and it used to be if you spent a big load of money, but now everybody can, and it's kind of like your lookalike audience, right? So Google.
Actually, they also just added lookalike audiences as well to your PMAX. Uh,
No,
so when you're building your audiences, you could do it off of stuff like your data, so your Google Analytics, as well as
Right.
search themes. And one of the other ones that just came out 2 weeks ago was lookalike audiences, and they give you percentages and what they think. And so I'm testing it out with 5% lookalike audience.
All right.
So
cool.
so far it hasn't yielded a ton of results, but it's still very new, so we'll see how it goes. But generally with Google ads, if you use their new tools, they generally give you favorability in the algorithm.
I use their new
All
tools
right.
for so there's the Performance Max and then there's the AI Max. And I used AI Max with brand campaigns. So interesting because we got a lot of extra search terms, but I did turn most of them off. So because I one of them I two accounts I left them on because the cost per click was so low and they were getting conversions, but I didn't see that with anyone else. But I've heard that Google did something because they weren't working well and now they are. So there's that. And LinkedIn, I don't know if we all pay a lot of attention to LinkedIn, but they've rolled out some really cool things. I don't understand really what they are, but I'm going to look into them because they keep launching new things every week. So have you guys
Yeah.
heard anything about
Actually,
LinkedIn?
that space is getting, I feel like that space is getting much more business-like. Like it's the spam stuff is going away in my feed. There used to be a lot of not rage clicking, but what's the other one?
Bait?
Like yeah, so they would be, posting about some poor child that's had a terrible something happen to them, and then it would be just like pile on of comments, and that would but it seems to be way more specific to business now. It's much more interesting than it has been in a long time. The posts and the conversation is becoming way more on point, or maybe their algorithm is doing better, and I'm just getting things that appeal to me more. I'm not really sure what's changing there, but I didn't like LinkedIn for the longest time. I mean, I had my account for ages and I do check it regularly, but as far as participating, I have not been, I'm not an early adopter on that. I am like a late adopter for LinkedIn, but I'm starting to really dig it right now. I think that there's some really beneficial things that are happening in terms of partnerships and really actually having real good conversation that's based on interests that are suited to me. So I feel like they've collected more data. I don't know what's going on, but it's
Interest.
great.
I will tell
Yeah.
you that LinkedIn was my hero when it came out because I never had to look for a job again. Once LinkedIn was around, I got headhunted a few times, which was brilliant because of advertising sales. It was brilliant. It
Did
was
you,
so good.
sorry, when you said you were headhunted, did you actually get the jobs?
Yep. Oh
Oh,
yeah, I
interesting.
went. That's how I got and worked at Reach Local, and I got a like
Oh,
twenty
I
thousand
see.
dollar signing bonus. And I also you get bonuses for bringing your friends along, and like how long they stay. If they stay for 6 months, you got a signing bonus for them.
Right.
It was great. Yeah,
Excellent.
I think I got headhunted to Reach Local. I got headhunted to Patterson Outdoor. It was a linear move and not a good one because
Oh
because
dear.
it's I was
That's
selling
that's
what was it?
another.
I was selling regional. I was selling national billboards to regional clients. It wasn't a good mix,
Hmm.
you know,
Right.
because
That
billboards are
makes sense.
expensive. But yeah,
Yeah.
but LinkedIn, I'm gonna go check it out. They've released some really neat things. As I said, I mean, I might not have had to look for a job, but I don't know what they're doing, and I find it interesting. I hated the groups though. Don't like the groups in there.
Yeah, the groups are difficult because so many of the moderators limit how you can interact in the groups. So sometimes they want to work it like they're the only ones that can do posting, which is kind of boring in terms of not very good for community building, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
So we are
It's got
out
a
of
tail.
time.
Oh
I just
wow.
want
Sorry?
to go back because I can answer Rena's question about Nano Banana
Ah,
earlier before we sign
Ooh.
okay.
off. It
Tell me.
seems that all content produced, features, and functionality are owned by Nano Banana. But
Okay.
user content, users retain rights to the content that
Okay.
they submit, and you grant them a license to use submitted content for service improvement, whatever that means.
What?
Great.
Well, I think that's the
Okay. Well,
changing
that's
the
good to
color
know.
shirt thing.
Yeah. All right.
That's good. Great. Greg, thank you so much for that. That's a wonderful. And we are out of time, but not out of touch, as I like to say, because it's funny. And what's happening next week? Do we know? I think we do. We are
Well, I can't tell.
talking.
I can. Yeah.
Oh, what? Do you know?
No, that's okay. Carry on. No.
Oh, it's with you and I. And we're talking about AI and social media landscape. Oh, my God.
Great. That's perfect.
Next Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, and we are live on a couple channels, but we interact in a group called the Business Marketing Mixer. If you're interested, come join us. It's free. We talk all about marketing all the time. All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.